If you haven't, and I recommend everyone do this, I think in the late 90s or maybe it's the mid 90s, Brian Billick came out with a book called Developing an Offensive Game Plan. And I read it, I don't know, probably in the early 2000s, maybe right around the turn of the century. And it kind of stuck with me. And it talked about how he makes, football finite and the number of plays that you have in certain situations and things like that, which I think are really important for people to evaluate when you start to, put together a game plan or coordinate things. In the first part of the book, he put this in here. He talked about what commonalities great coaches have. And he talks about their ability to be outstanding teachers. And he talks about them having a well-defined structure that they're going to stick to when they prepare their teams. So we're going to obviously talk about, how we go about putting our game plan together. But, what's your strength and conditioning program like? Okay, what is your, study hall program like? Do you have a defined structure that you're going to stick to throughout the course of a year, throughout the course of a week, when things get hard, that will help develop your players, certainly as a football player, but as a person and a man as well. Now, one of the lessons I've learned here, right down here is the bottom, is that those structures that you put together and that you stick to, those structures can never be so rigid that creativity is hindered. And I've made that mistake before, where you have such a rigid structure about how you do things, and all this is the system, or no, this is how we're going to do that, that all of a sudden creativity gets hindered, and all of a sudden you can't, you don't get to grow the way the game has to evolve. Okay.